Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. This is the Christmas Hangover live chat. No, not hungover because we've been drinking. Well, at least I wasn't because I don't drink. But, that whole hangover from all of the crazy holidays type stuff and things like that. So let's slowly getting back into the task of everything. And we are joined with Pizza and Ricky and Tech is here. So how's it going, guys?
Right.
Doing pretty good.
I have very, very little agenda today. I just figure I hang out. We are also not streaming on the other channel. So if you do watch the other channel, we are not streaming on the Christian channel tonight. So I can finish wrapping stuff up. What exciting have you guys been up to for the last couple of days?
I've been gaming a lot because I got Windows 10 and I have got the new Call of Duty.
Yeah, guys, pray for Pizza because he's running Windows 10 right now.
I still have I
have not lost to us yet, brother.
I have a tri-boot going on. I have Arch Linux, Manjaro, and Windows 10.
Oh my god!
Well, Manjaro and Arch are
enough time to try to figure this all out.
Manjaro and Arch are on its own hard drives, and then I have Windows on a 1 terabyte SSD.
Nice.
And believe it or not, with putting Windows on an SSD, it boots faster than Linux does on a hard drive.
Wow. Yeah, I still have the SSD running Linux Mint with KDE on it, and that thing still boots up in like 5 hot seconds. It's amazing.
Dude, Linux Mint is stupid quick.
Yeah,
I got this 1 terabyte SSD. I also got a monitor stand to improve my posture.
It's not the $1,000 Apple stand, is it?
No, it's a $50. It's a $50 Amazon Basic stand.
Rumor has it all you need is the stand, though. No monitor.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good though to help with the posture. You know.
I actually asked for it because I've been looking down. Oh, I actually got a second display. Before I was using this 4x3 one right here. It was a server monitor. Now I have this TV was the monitor I was using before right here.
Ooh,
and then I got this monitor right here from Goodwill. So
yeah.
Now,
very nice, awesome.
And I also got $75 and I put it away. I'm saving for a Pine phone.
Very cool. Very well, about halfway there then, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, because it ain't no Librem 5.
True enough. Actually, that's 10% of a U.S.-made Librem 5.
I'm so sorry, but the Librem 5 is on the naughty list this year.
Wait,
now Pizza,
it's
you
less
said
than 10% than.
I know you're right.
Yeah.
It's like
now
20%.
Pizza, you said that Linux Gamer's Librem 5 phone already broke, right? What are the stories on that? I did not get a chance to follow up on it.
He said that his Librem 5 had an issue where the USB-C charging bus broke.
Oh,
and
that's right.
And he has to charge the battery using USB Type A, and so he can't use his phone while it's charging.
Yeah,
it's going to be like the 2021 iPhone, where it's going to have to be wirelessly charged.
Mm-hmm.
Except they didn't build wireless charging into it yet.
Yeah, I mean that you can't use your phone while it's charging.
I think what Linux Gamer actually said, because I watched that video, I was really excited. I'm getting a Pinebook Pro sometime in the amorphous future. I've already ordered it. I'm just waiting for it. But I think Linux Gamer said that it's the actual, on the Librem he got, it was on the actual, I think it was the actual plug on the phone itself, not the cord. Was it? Or was it the cord? It had to have been the cord. No?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, basically two of the charging lanes were defective.
Yeah.
So
these Pine that he's talking about, I have the article pulled up, like the Pine's website. So they have these nice little. The Pine book is more or less kind of like a. Is this like kind of like a Chromebook essentially?
Yeah.
I don't follow the development of this as much.
I like on my channel. I like to mess around with like the cheap like stuff, and so
Yeah.
I'm kind of want to take the $200 Pinebook Pro and then put it up against my like $150 Dell laptop that's practically the same except for the CPU, and I kind of want to use them both for a week and see how they compare.
Cool.
And I think I want to do a bit of a critique of naming things Pro that aren't Pro. Like I don't like that moniker at all.
Yeah.
Well, there is a regular Pinebook that isn't Pro.
But the Pinebook Pro doesn't look like it's a Pro device, and that's what I want to find out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's of course the Pine phone that Pizza mentioned is $150. This is going to be a Linux phone that, well, my guess is it's going to work a little bit better. So you're looking at the Pinebook Pro laptops or the regular
Yes.
Pinebook laptops?
Yeah, Pinebook Pro. I
Pros, all
asked
right.
about the Pinebook, and they told me that they did not have the Pinebook available.
Okay.
So
I
I want to see more information about this.
can you guys hear me when I mute this?
Mhm.
No.
negative.
No.
Cannot hear you. Muting is
Okay,
working.
good. Yeah, earlier I was coughing when I was muting it. Yesterday this wasn't working, and now it magically works again. That's
Nice.
Windows 10 for you.
All right, so this is the Pinebook Pro is $199. It has 64-bit dual-core ARM 1.8 gig Cortex processor and a quad-core ARM 1.4. So two separate processors, I guess.
Yeah, it's their big little configuration.
Quad-core GPU, 4 gigs of RAM. Is this soldered in or is that replaceable?
I don't know. I'm interested to find out because I've watched a couple other guys who had they're unboxing, but nobody's torn it down because the original Pinebook they're actually releasing a drop-in CPU and eMMC card, so you can actually upgrade the original Pinebook to be close to the Pinebook Pro in performance. So I'm curious if they did the same thing with the Pro. So I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah. We have 64 gigs of flash memory. We have 802.11ac plus Bluetooth 5, one USB 3, two USB 2 Type A ports, USB 3 Type C with alt mode display, and 15 volt 3 amp charging, one micro USB slot, one headphone jack, one built-in microphone. Now, does this have physical kill switches on them or not?
I don't know that. I know they do on the Pine phone, but I'm not sure they do here. I don't think I've seen anything about that.
And this company's also looking at doing a smart watch. There's a watch. Is this the watch dev kit? It looks like $25. Dang.
Somebody in the YouTube chat said whoever is watching Family Feud, you might want to turn it down.
That might be Ricky. Ricky's family listened to it, I bet, right?
Ricky.
Yeah. Yeah, which you could just mute until you're ready to talk too. That's fine. Yeah, so Pine actually has a lot of neat stuff. Now, do these guys ship US directly, or do you have to order out to?
Yeah, well, I ordered my Pinebook Pro, and then I think it was like $30 shipping. I think is what it was. It came out like $229 and some change.
Yeah.
And but I think it's coming from the EU. That's why it's taking so long to get here.
Yes, that's what I did remember there. EU ship. Let's say hi to everybody that's on here right now. Alexander, greetings. Mr. Snap, how's it going there? Fair OS Dev, if you're still around, greetings to you.
He is still around.
GNU Ninja, hello there. LJ, greetings to you. Linux user, just in time. Haven't been here for a while. Just got back from upgrading RAM and the ThinkPad to 32 gig. Don't know what I'm going to do with all this RAM and a laptop. Ooh, do something fun. Will you rename your channel when everyone switches to Linux? Ooh, I don't know. I might. Hey, Vince, how's it going?
Hey, by the way, guys, for anybody who missed my live stream yesterday, I did a live FreeBSD install. Ben had to help me a little bit, but I actually got it working.
Nice.
The environment I chose to test was XFCE, and it actually worked pretty good. So I'm actually considering running FreeBSD on bare metal.
Nice. Very cool. The star of the show just showed up. Look at that. He's back. How's it going, Vince?
Hey, guys.
Vince,
Made it.
All right. Let's see. Thomas Holp. Yes, the kitties got a bag of Temptations. Ooh, they got another bag. And then they got some extra kitty treats. They both got kitty treats, huh? Right, Kitty. You want to, you're messing with my headphones, though, Kitty. You want to lay down here? Want to plop right down right here? There you go. You can plop down right there, cat.
I'm playing Roblox knockoffs of different games.
Nice.
And some of them are really bad.
By the way, in my live stream yesterday, I made a major announcement, by the way, Tom.
What's that?
Basically, I have told everybody yesterday what my 2020 live streaming schedule is. Basically, around January, I will be reviewing Present Arms's PC Linux OS Trinity setup. February, I am going to be reviewing Farron OS's newest distro.
Okay.
And then in March, I am going to be reviewing Ben's Hackman OS.
Cool. Very nice.
Can I make an announcement?
Yep.
It's not about the channel, but I've been working on an OS called I'm gonna name it Border OS. I don't know why I named it that. It just sounds cool. And the slogan is going to be finally a Seattle-based OS you can trust. and it's going to be Arch-based with a heavily customized GNOME desktop, but Budgie is also going to be pre-installed and also customized. So since Budgie is mainly using the GNOME stack, that way it adds a little bit more consistency between the desktop choices. Now I've gotten pretty much everything on a working ISO. I just can't get the installer to work. So if anybody is good at setting up Calmaris installers on Arch and they'd like to help me, I would really appreciate the help because I just can't get Calmaris working. At first, I was just having errors compiling it. Ben was trying to help me. It's using the same package build as Hackman Linux, but I got it finally compiled. I also tried Arco Linux's Calmaris installer. Eric, who is the lead developer, let me use it. But that had issues too. So I ended up getting it compiled, but now I have an error where Calmaris doesn't detect a Linux kernel to install. It's like it's an MKInit error. So if anybody knows how to fix it, please submit a fix, and because I would like some help with that, please.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fully complete, the OS.
Why do you need Calamaris specifically?
Because it's the easiest to use installer that I could find that would really work. Because like it's really the only installer that's easy to get working. There's also there's another one, but it's command line only. And I could, I guess, use the Intargos installer, but that doesn't have very much community support since Intargos is a dead project and it's being ran by the Reborn OS team. So that's really why I chose Calmaris, but I'm having trouble getting it to work on my ISO.
Reborn OS, if I'm correct, Tom, didn't you do a review of Reborn OS like several years ago?
Probably. I don't remember. Hey, I have over. I think I have over 1,500 videos on the channel now. I can't tell you what I did.
Endeavor OS finally has its online installer working.
Yeah,
it's super good.
It's going to be coming soon, though. They're
no,
just
it's out now. It's out now.
The net installer is out.
Yeah, it's out.
Oh,
came out over Christmas.
Back to the PinePhone. The PinePhone based on Qt or GTK? I think they have. I think they have both. Don't they have multiple versions?
Right now, there isn't a specific OS for the PinePhone, so
they've actually got quite a number of developers working on an OS. So you've got the UBports guys working on it. I think a couple of other distros are working on a version of OS as well.
Yeah, I have. I have $75 saved for the PinePhone.
All right.
To clear up a couple of things with the Pine, because I heard you guys talking about Pine earlier, the Pinebook Pro, there's a channel, Dust Geek. He's actually torn it down. He tore it down as soon as you got it. So if you want to have a look inside, it's actually quite neat.
Cool.
And they actually are manufactured in China and ship from China actually. When they first released, it was right in the middle of the Hong Kong protests. And so they had delays in shipment, and so they had to communicate to everyone that was the case.
Aren't the Hong Kong protests still going on?
Yes.
Probably, but they have managed to get enough peons to ship stuff nevertheless.
People got to eat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I believe it's made of a magnesium alloy, so it's actually, it'll probably feel quite neat.
Oh yeah, I see Das Geek's video on this. Yeah, about 38
He's
minutes in, he actually starts taking it apart.
James
he's made quite a few of them.
I wonder. I'm probably not going to be able to actually buy it until September on my birthday when I get more money.
Yeah.
So
Well, it depends
won't
on if
get
you
it
get some
in time.
patrons coming in, you know. So Pizza has
I
a
have one. I
Patreon
have
now,
one
right?
Patreon right now. Yeah,
Okay.
I have one Patreon for $10 a month. The benefits are outdated because once I get Border OS working, I was going to have custom builds for patrons with everything they wanted pre-installed for the highest level patrons, which is cheese level, for $10 a month.
Do you have like sauce and cheese and pepperoni and
There's
Nice.
crust, sauce, and cheese.
nice?
Crust is $1, sauce is $5, and cheese is 10. And
Nice.
you also get all of my videos that aren't distro videos because those can get out of date quickly. All of my distros and news videos will still go on the channel the day I make them. But all my other videos, like showcasing software or just videos that take me a long time to make in general, those are going to be Patreon exclusive for a week before they're on my channel.
Cool. Very good.
Well, this is a late Christmas announcement that I thought I'd never hear. It seems that one of the Free Software Foundation's distros is changing their base. Hyperbola is changing their base from Linux to a fork of OpenBSD.
Yeah, I read about that. It's because Linux has proprietary blobs, and that's one of those distros where like it's for people who refuse to use anything proprietary at all.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it based on Arch before? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, there's Parabola and there's Hyperbola. Both of them are currently Arch-based.
What's Parabola?
Parabola is another Libre-free Arch distribution that the Free Software Foundation supports. I don't remember when it had an update last, but I've tried Parabola before. It was okay, but it was pretty bare bones. I could hardly do anything with it.
Another thing I'm doing with Border OS is I'm pre-installing like all of the codecs and stuff, and even like all of the Asian languages, so you won't have any of that error with boxes on like YouTube chat where if someone uses an emoji it becomes a box. You won't have any of that. I'm basically trying to make it feel like I'm trying to make it feel like it's like not even Arch based.
Interesting.
My aim is it's for technical users who want to be based on Arch but don't want Manjaro because that has older packages.
So
but they also want a super polished experience that is comparable to Mac OS.
So basically like Chaos, basically, because Chaos, it's basically independent instro.
KOS?
It's not based on Arch, but it has Arch stuff in it.
Hmm.
I thought you said chaos.
That's what I call it.
It's a chaos. It's a beautiful thing. No, wait, hold on.
It's using a bunch of GNOME themes too. I got status icons. I might add desktop icons. It depends. Do people... everyone in the live chat, do you guys want me to add desktop icons? Because everyone who I've asked outside of like YouTube and Discord, I've asked all my friends at school and none of them say they use desktop icons. So I'm still deciding.
I mean, if you don't put desktop icons on it when I review that thing, I'm going to be talking about how bad it is with no desktop icons.
Yeah, well, it seems like you're going to be above a certain age to use desktop icons.
You need to have an option because there's going to be people who do use them. Now, I think that maybe as computer use has shifted, people have gotten away from using them a little bit, but I also think that decreased the efficiency of using our systems as well.
I think because the first build's going to be alpha, because at that point it's basically just Arch with a custom desktop. Well, I want to add like some more stuff, like I want to add a welcome screen and stuff like that. So I think what I'll do is the alpha's not going to come with desktop icons, but when the first official release, we'll have the ability to enable them in the welcome screen.
Yeah, Farron OS says yes to desktop icons, by the way.
Okay.
May I make a suggestion, Pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Since you're building this thing, I will make one little recommendation to you, and it's going to make all the difference.
Listen to your community.
Use the LTS kernel.
I don't really want to use the LTS kernel for hardware support reasons, because I I've known a couple of people on Discord who've gotten like brand new hardware that just came out like that month, and then they have to wait for the kernel to support it. So that's why I'm using new kernels.
What if you do it like Arch Linux and give them, or I'm sorry, Arch Labs and give them the option?
What I could do though is I also don't want to make too many ISOs. The ISO is going to include both GNOME and Budgie pre-installed because Budgie needs the GNOME desktop to run anyway, so I might as well throw in Budgie.
Okay. Yeah. You're not losing
So
much.
yeah. So and Budgie's also customized, so it's not just pure Budgie with a bunch of bugs and stuff. I customized it to actually give you a good experience on it. So what I want to do, I want to make 2 ISOs, one for NVIDIA graphics cards with proprietary drivers installed and one without it. So since I'm already making 2 ISOs, I don't really want to make any more.
Sure.
Well, this is your first time making a distro, am I correct, Pizza?
Yeah. I've made Arch install script before that.
Put it out there and see what people say, see what the feedback is, and then listen to the community. That's what makes a distro good. Listen to the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to hate on it for using GNOME, so that's why I added the Budgie thing.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a good trade-off anyway. Hold on, Vince. What's going on in your neck of the woods? Since you jumped on there late. Yeah.
Is it? Much.
You guys have some time off for the holidays and stuff?
Yeah, I'm off for a week.
Hey, Ricky, you sharing those things, man? They look tasty.
I don't actually see it. For me, Ricky's just a black screen.
It's
really?
it's just a Chex Mix bag I got.
That's because you're
what are they?
Hot and spicy Chex Mix. I'm a sucker for spicy stuff. I've even had ghost pepper Chex Mix before.
Nice.
Oh wow,
it's pretty sweet. All right.
Yeah, I was hanging out with my friend right before this live stream, and they're Jamaican, so they have everything spicy.
Yeah.
For Christmas, they got his dad like a hot sauce collection, like a thing with like 7 different hot sauces.
Oh, yum!
Nice. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the necessarily the hot, but if it's hot, like I'll eat it if it's hot, but I prefer hot with flavor. Like Chipotle, I make a Chipotle chili that is dangerous, and it is very hot, but it tastes so good. We're talking about the spice, the pepper, right?
I have 2 things to say about Chipotle.
Yeah.
One, it's a cheap alternative to laxatives. And 2, I've been there 4 times this week anyway.
Well, we're not talking about Chipotle, the restaurant. I'm talking about Chipotle powder. Chipotle is a type of chili.
Actually, I've been there 3 times. I'm going to go there a 4th time tomorrow.
Hey, there you go. I'm not a huge fan of them, and I don't like what they were doing with their employees. And since there's alternatives to them, I go to their alternatives rather than going to them because I just didn't like the way they were caught really fudging people's time cards, causing stealing workers' wages, and then that whole illness issue came from the fact that they would not let people wash their hands. It was just a lot of crazy stuff. It's like, what? I don't want to support a company like that. So we have every Chipotle we have has competing restaurants just like it. Next to them, I go to the competitors instead.
Oh yeah, we don't have. We have one competing restaurant that's local, but it tastes terrible. Like their ingredients, it's like this. I don't want to name it because if I did, you would know where I'd live. But
oh, gotcha.
But this restaurant, it's like the meat is always dry. They get all their ingredients from Costco. Yeah. So that's why. It's a local place.
Yeah, I go to Moe's because, like, I don't like their food as much, but their chips and salsa are free, and that's why I go anyway. Moe's is good if you got one. Like, I mean, it's okay. They're really good in that they have a wide variety of salsas. If you like chips and salsa, Moe's is the place to go. If you want the good burrito and stuff, I think Qdoba's a little bit better.
I was going to say Qdoba's. I was going to ask if y'all had Qdoba near you.
Yeah, Seattle doesn't have Qdoba at all.
Yeah. Do you have a Cafe Rio out there?
Like ground beef.
No.
No. Okay. So you have Chipotle and the local. All right.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to take a bus downtown, I have more options, but I'm not doing that.
if you want a good burrito, try Wawa. You can build your own burrito, and it comes out fabulous.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah,
No Wawa down here.
I've been to Chipotle. I said 4 times. I actually been there 3 times. My bad. But I'm gonna go again tomorrow because
There you go.
I went there on Monday, or was it Monday? No, it was Sunday. I went there on Sunday, and then and the manager was there, and his Chipotle is like becoming like one of like the top 5 like best rated Chipotles in the entire country or something. And so he was asking everyone to take the survey on the receipt so that they could become the biggest one. And I did that, and then he gave me a free burrito because I was like a cool customer or something.
Nice.
So then yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I went to get my free burrito, and I got it, and it was super good, as always. And then today I wanted lunch, and I had $10, and my brother's redeeming his free burrito, so that he also got one. So I went there for my brother, but I used the rewards app to get like points, and now I have enough points for a free burrito again. So I'm gonna get my second free burrito of the week tomorrow.
So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the stream statistics right now. And apparently, 8 minutes into the stream, everything died off and everything dropped to 0. Did we like lag out or something at 8 minutes in?
I've got the stream up on my side. I
Yeah, it's funny to see the statistics. It's like going done 0, and then it's back up again. It's like YouTube, I guess. Yeah.
You're momentarily shadow banned.
Apparently, yeah. I was momentarily shadow banned. That's kind of the case.
Are you?
Let's see. So we will be doing the news tomorrow, like usual. For those that jumped on a little bit later, we are not streaming on the other channel tonight. I will probably be back to streaming on the Christian channel next week. I may or may not have a video up on Sunday. I will have one up, planning on at least having one up on Tuesday and possibly Wednesday as well, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. I have no idea yet.
I think.
But news tomorrow. News tomorrow's good. There's actually there's enough news out there to catch, and so we've seen some of those. And I have some phone videos coming up soon as well. And I have a few other things. I need to report on my goals for 2019. I'm thinking back to them. I can't remember what some of those were, but I think I probably failed my 2019 goals. I wanted to experiment around with DaVinci Resolve. Didn't even look at it. I did want to look at LaTeX. I did not get an entire book output, but I did start doing some stuff in LaTeX. I did have a look at Krita, and there's 2 more things I had on that list. I have no idea what they were. I'll have to go back and find the video and watch it.
DaVinci Resolve is garbage on Linux unless you're running Fedora.
I'll run Fedora to run DaVinci if I need to.
Yeah, it only works on Fedora and CentOS. Those are the only 2 distros I can get it to work on.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've gotten it working on Arch, but then on Arch it like crashes a bunch and it's laggy and it's just terrible on Arch.
Okay.
So you have to be using either Fedora, CentOS, or Windows 10 if you want DaVinci Resolve to work.
Well, I won't be using Windows 10, but I don't mind running Fedora to get it to work. What I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to get a second hard drive since this runs an IC dock anyway. I'm just going to pop it in there, and whatever I need to do to get it to run and test running it, then I'm going to give it a try. But I do want to do it. So
I've tried. Tried recording a video about WSL, and I don't have NTFS like drivers on my Arch system, so I couldn't access the file from Windows. So I thought, whatever, I'll just edit my video on Windows. So then I downloaded and installed Kdenlive on Windows, and after 45 minutes, I couldn't get the Windows version of Kdenlive to work.
Huh.
So then I booted into Linux, and and finally got the NTFS drivers to work. So I import the files in the Linux Kdenlive, and the files are corrupt.
All right. So, well, okay. Joseph says that he's running DaVinci Resolve on Linux Mint just fine. So I'll give it a try. I have not looked at Deepin V20 yet. That I was told I need to go look at that though. So I'm going to look at Deepin V20 as soon as I can.
These days.
What's that?
I'm so scared of Deepin these days. Like I want to try it, I really do, but I'm just scared.
I would say for Arch users, the environment is more beautiful than the OS itself.
Yeah, I just use Manjaro Deepin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the Deepin DE is nice.
Yeah, I think the Deepin DE looks nice, but I think
don't like
it has
its workflow.
well, the problem is it gets annoying and problematic. Like it's cool and polished. It's like a new toy at Christmas, right? The coolness of it wears out, and then you're left with whatever it's left at. And I find that the little annoyances are too annoying to keep running with it. Like if you have Deepin installed and you have multiple hard drives in your computer, every single time I open the Windows Manager, it gives me a login prompt for each of those other hard drives. And consequently, I have 3 hard drives on the computer that I use for testing distros.
Hey, at least you're not on Windows 10 with user account control. I look at. Hey, would you like to open up Google Chrome? Yes, I do. That's why I clicked on it.
Definitely not. Thank you for saving me with that.
I look at the Deepin data and see what it's. I kind of think about who it's targeted for.
Yeah.
And I think it's not targeted for power users like us. It's more for someone who's brand new, and looking for something that's really nice and nice looking and polished.
If I heard correctly, I think that did the desktop change quite a bit in version 20 or not?
Yeah, it did.
It did. Okay.
It's. I just don't like. I like it if you put the taskbar, expand it, and get like a Windows 7 UI. But then you have to deal with all of its crap, like its annoying notification sound. And I haven't had that hard drive issue, but it's not buggy. Sometimes it's just annoying. It gets in your way when you're trying to do things. That's my issue.
Okay.
And then it's also based on Debian, so then you get all the old software. And I needed
is it based on Debian still? Because every single edition I've looked at, it's based on something different.
It is. They stuck with Debian. Okay. It's not Ubuntu anymore. Okay. I mean, I wish it was Ubuntu.
Now,
they might as well use
this
Ubuntu.
is version 20 is the new one, right? Because I'm on the Deepin site and it's still Deepin 15.11.
Oh, version 20 is still in beta.
Okay. Well, I'm looking for it under the developer panel.
I don't think it's even public. They've just released a bunch of videos on it, and I think one build got leaked.
One question I have, Tom, about Linux Mint. Sometime either mid or late next year, will Linux Mint... well, this is a little after Ubuntu 20.04 comes out. Will the Linux Mint team adapt Mint to 20.04 or not?
I haven't seen anything, and I don't follow development so closely, but a prediction based on looking at their past, probably yes. However, what they've always done is they've always done a lot of things. They have the skill and the ability to make a lot of things run differently. So they are completely opposed to snaps. And so we're going to see a Chromium being pulled from the Debian repositories instead.
Oh,
that's probably what we're going to see. Because they will not install snaps on Linux Mint.
Well, the Debian repositories, I wouldn't trust Chromium off of that because I feel like it'd be an older version.
Not necessarily, because as they're pushing security updates, oftentimes they're pushing the newer things. That's the same thing you get on any Ubuntu version. It's always pushing the latest version. Now Debian will get Firefox ESR because Debian's always run Firefox ESR.
Yeah.
But the Chromium versions, whatever, is going to be whatever the current version is. It is a myth that Debian packages are that old. They're not. They just don't roll the versions until the new OS is out. You get all the security updates. But for something like a browser, yes, they do push it.
For security updates are fine on Debian, but I want my feature updates when the program comes out and not when Debian decides to release after 2 years.
Yeah.
Or not even 2 years, like 4 years.
Yeah. And also, Tom, right now, Linux Mint has always been on kernel 4.19. Will at some point, once the change happens, will the Linux Mint team adapt the kernel to the new 5.0 LTS when it releases?
19.3 is already on 5.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, so the new LTS kernel is out?
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me boot up my 19.3 virtual machine here. I'll tell you. Linux Mint
I thought
19.3.
Linux Mint normally bases on LTS, doesn't it? The Ubuntu LTS
I'll be able to tell you what they got.
Well, Ubuntu LTS now has a newer kernel because they added something.
I can't see you guys, by the way, because my virtual machine's over top of you. So so you can, if you want to make crazy faces, this is the ideal time. I'm trying to see if I can find where I can find that leaked thing. If anybody knows how to find it.
I don't know where it is. I just know that Baby Wogue made a video on the leak.
Anna Rita saying that 19.3 has 5.0.
Okay. Okay. That answers my question.
I thought it did, but I kind of blew away my Linux Mint installed.
Yeah.
To play around with
Ubuntu has like this new feature where you can get newer kernels on older LTS builds, and that's how Elementary OS got kernel 5.
Oh, Elementary OS has the new kernel too?
Yeah.
Interesting. I heard that for a little while now, the development of Elementary OS has speeded up a little bit.
It
Okay.
has. They updated it to 5.1.
Okay, so right now, and I never changed the kernels on this, on Linux Mint, the default 19.3 is Linux kernel 5.0. You can go up and install 5.3 in the kernel manager if you would like to. But yes, it does have that, and I probably can and probably should bump this up to 5.0.0-37. I'm still on 3.2 because, I installed this in a virtual machine. I didn't look at it. But yeah, Linux Mint 19.3 is on Linux kernel 5. So what was your guys' opinions on the Ubuntu Cinnamon?
I thought it looked a little interesting, but I'm sorry, but no. I'd rather go to either Peppy or Linux Mint. I'm sorry.
So what I made my video about is I said that it needs to be able to compete against Linux Mint because since Linux Mint is an Ubuntu-based Cinnamon desktop or a Ubuntu-based operating system with the Cinnamon desktop, people are going to compare Ubuntu Cinnamon to Linux Mint. So, but the thing is, I don't think Ubuntu Cinnamon is ready to be competing against Linux Mint. That's what I've said in my video.
Yeah, so when I looked at it, I don't know if I was necessarily comparing it to. I mean, obviously, I was doing a comparative video, so it does make sense that I'm comparing Ubuntu Cinnamon to Linux Mint Cinnamon. But at the same time, I thought they just made some crazy choices. From the theming I thought the theming was horrid. I know some people thought it was pretty good. It was horrid though. It was not Ubuntu-like. It was horrid. If you want to do Ubuntu-like, it's got to be dark with orange highlights. This was just all orange and bright orange everywhere, and it was
I actually liked it. My issue was them using the GNOME Software Center. So, because all it needs is the Mint Software Center, time shift, and a welcome screen, and then it will be perfect.
Yeah. But like you said, Tom, I think we've got to give it a bit of time. It's pretty much a development. Yeah. It's a development release at the moment.
I do want to give it time. I really do. But at the same time, it's. Ugh.
Have you guys heard of the Ubuntu Pantheon project?
What?
No. Yeah. So there's this team of developers who were making Ubuntu Pantheon, and they got a Twitter account, and they basically followed every Linux person on Twitter, and they started replying to it. As a way to advertise, because you can see it when people follow you. I think they're following everyone to advertise it. So then I thought, this is cool. I couldn't find, but they didn't make any releases yet, and I was like, okay, I guess it's still in development. Then I joined their Discord server because I'm curious on development. Then all of a sudden, the server is no longer Ubuntu Pantheon. Instead, it's Ubuntu i3. They changed it. And in the Discord, I was like, Ubuntu i3 already exists, right? It's Reguith. And they said Reguith customizes the i3 a little bit. And we wanted to make stock i3. And then I said, well, Ubuntu customizes GNOME. and you don't see in the Ubuntu GNOME project is dead. So they basically just killed Ubuntu Pantheon just with i3 instead. They replaced Pantheon with i3.
That might have
Now, on
been
the surface
true.
of it, on the surface of that, it might seem like a massive shift going from Pantheon to i3. But Pantheon, surprisingly, is a very, very good desktop environment to use with keyboard shortcuts that I found.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Pantheon is actually super polished, whereas i3 is not the most polished.
How dare you?
It's like comparing GNOME. It's like comparing GNOME and XFCE.
i3 is the best.
Let's see. Let me catch up on some chat up here. Let's see. Okay. Keegan is being picked up by the. I think Keegan is being gagged here. He retracted his messages. So somebody go help Keegan out if you're around.
He's closest to Tennessee.
I saw this video of someone ordering pizza using 911, but really they were being abused, and they used the pizza to make it look like they were ordering pizza when really it was calling 911. And at first the dispatcher thought it was a prank, but they could hear what was going on in the background, so they sent help.
Nice.
I saw that video as well.
Okay. Hello, Anna Rita. Greetings. Windows 10 and Chrome, double whammy. That's right.
I'm using Windows 10 and Brave.
All right, good enough. That's better than Chrome.
I launched Chrome earlier.
Goal for 2020 is to use Brave so I can manage my ads better and tip my favorite content creators. Unexpected gifts. Can you look into Brave? Revisit it. No, I will not look into Brave.
I
completely do not trust the company. I think they're completely disingenuous. If you're using Brave, that's cool, and support your creators. Do not switch on to Give Me any bat because I will not be accepting it from them.
Yeah, I actually have received some bat through auto contribute, but I can't redeem it because I'm not of age. So.
Yeah, so the problem with Brave, it's not that the browser's bad. The browser's just fine. The browser is a fine browser. You know, it does what it says it's supposed to do. The problem is when you have a company and goes into their investors and says, we're going to do X, give us money, and investors give you X, and then you turn around to the public and you say, we're going to do Y, and you're using money raised for X to do Y, you are a completely disingenuous and dishonest company. I don't want anything to do with it. So, looking into it,
I
I'm
do not like it.
So
I don't like its company, but I think Brave is the best browser because it's super fast. It doesn't do tracking.
Use it.
Yeah, it doesn't do any tracking or anything.
Well, that we know of. I mean, remember that at one point in time, they did have session replay built into it. Surprisingly, they took that stuff down when I started raising attention to it. I don't think that I had anything to do with that specifically, but at the point in time I started raising attention to it is about the time they took that down. So use Brave. It's going to be better than a lot of things. Spin Viking. I will not be using it. I will not be using it. I will not be using their bat system. But if it works for you, then go for it. It's definitely going to be better than most of the other things out there.
I was actually going to bundle Brave with Border OS, but people don't trust Brave, so I chose Firefox instead.
I'm a Waterfox guy myself.
I actually bundled uBlock Origin and the extension Dark Reader. Do you think people are going to be worried about that?
Not uBlock Origin.
Nah.
Dark Reader though.
I have no experience with that.
Never heard of it.
An extension that makes all of your websites have dark modes.
I don't know if I would want
as long as I'd probably not leave it on because that's pretty niche.
It's open source, but I'm worried people are going to be just not trust the extensions since they're pre-installed. That's what I'm worried about. People are going to think it's like adware or something.
I see. Well,
I actually got both of those extensions off
I'd
the
say,
Linux repo.
I'd say it's niche, so I wouldn't include it.
I actually have it disabled by default. It's just pre-installed if you want to enable it.
Yeah, but I would not even do that because the last thing I want to do, like that gives me Windows vibes. Like who has the experience back when using Windows? You install Windows and then you spend the rest of your day uninstalling the crap that gets bloated with it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
me.
Ooh, you. Yeah, me too. Me too. I hate it. I hate it.
Squad.
It's
I
like,
just
dude.
experienced that recently. I've already installed Candy Crush like 3 times.
I was going to say, don't forget to put it back in
Yeah.
when you upgrade.
I don't have that problem
I-
because
I-
the one Windows machine I have, it's got Windows 8 on it.
Yeah, I see you. I see Candy Crushers on your machine. I went ahead and reinstalled it for you.
Oh, you uninstalled the Microsoft Solitaire collection. Here, let us help you with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the 2 browsers I mainly use is Firefox, which I privacy harden the heck out of it, and I use Chromium because I literally refuse to use Chrome. I will use Chromium, but I won't use Chrome.
See,
All right,
I don't
so
like Firefox's engine very much.
Who has experience gaming with Wayland? Can you do gaming with Wayland or not?
No.
Yeah, no.
Wayland is okay.
Hobby at best.
Wayland is okay if you're just doing like work, and you're not doing any gaming because you're going to get frame drops, and you're not doing any screen recording. But if you're doing like schoolwork or something on it, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank you. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's possible. Let's see. You need to start giving another tiling Windows Manager. Yeah. Oh, I think that wasn't that one of the ones on my list is to think about looking at tiling window managers.
I do want to try
OpenBox.
Yeah, I want to try out OpenBox, but
You, I will, Pizza. You will love OpenBox. It is the most easiest window manager I have ever used in my life. I can literally, in either Debian or Arch, set up an OpenBox session within about 30 minutes, and I can do everything from OpenBox. It is a wonderful experience. You will like it.
But OpenBox is it's not tiling.
See, the thing that I want for my window manager,
I'm clueless. I don't know.
I don't really like window managers very much that have like separate decorations to your GDK theme because I don't like how I have a GDK2 Windows border theme, but then my client side decorations look different. So because of that, I always use the same window theme as GDK3 themes, and most GDK3 themes don't have OpenBox themes. That's
so Ben's heading to a bar but wants the link. Let me see if I have your email, Ben.
Is that GNOME extension that came out that allows tiling? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's called Material Shell.
Yeah, DistroTube did a review on it a little while back.
Ben, I'm not sure I have your email address. You'll have to send me an email.
I have to go in like 20 minutes for guitar lessons.
All right, man.
Okay.
I still have 20 minutes though.
OpenBox is floating. Okay. I don't even know. I have no idea. How's the science fiction book going? Can't wait for a gift card for it. All right. So the goal is to finish the first pass edit by the end of the year. I have, I think, 15 or 20 pages left to edit on that to finish it. So I think I did 3 or 4 today. It takes me about a half hour or so to do 3 or 4 pages. I have about 15 left. So hopefully I will meet the goal, get the first draft done, and then I don't know if it's going out to beta readers at that point or if I'm going to do a couple of I might do another pass edit. I'm not sure. I might do a selected beta reader test for it. I don't know yet.
What's the sci-fi book about?
Oh, I'm not telling you yet. Come on, man. Just use your imagination what I would talk about on a sci-fi book.
Okay, so it's going to be Star Wars, but good.
No.
There's Star Wars that's good anymore.
I'm not going to try and spoil it, but the new Star Wars movie is actually super good. It's the best of the new trilogy.
Which is not a high bar to beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually like it better than
yeah.
I think it's my second favorite Star Wars movie, to be honest, only behind Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, no. I read the leaked script that got out when Boyega's script accidentally got sold on eBay, and I was like, My God, they're trying so hard.
No,
So
it would have had to be written from the beginning, though, from Force Awakens. It's based on the story.
I think it's just the episode 9 script.
Yeah.
It was good. You guys won't believe
I
me.
mean, I'm sure it's probably better than episode 8 was. But,
Episode 8 was garbage, but
oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I liked Force Awakens, but I didn't like episode 8.
Yeah, Force Awakens was fair.
The Mary
yeah.
Sue Awakens, you mean? Come on.
Carrie Poppins, yeah.
Yeah. Peter Jensen's sci-fi book is about the reptilian master race. No, I'm not allowed to do it. It's kind of like that whole Snowden NSA thing.
Wait.
I'm not allowed to write about it.
Am
No.
I allowed, or am I the only one who thinks that Han Solo was a good movie?
No.
I just watched that the other day.
Yeah,
I liked it as well.
It's pretty good. I don't
Yeah.
know why people hate on it so
I
much.
won't. I won't.
It's-
I am done. I am so done. I'm not giving a single penny to the Star Wars universe at this point.
Then pirate
No
it.
chance. I could do
Whoa.
that.
Now.
I'd like to see an R-rated Darth Maul movie.
Uh-oh, Pizza. Peter's taking a shot at you, man. Only a kid can think the latest Star Wars movie is better than 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of got a point.
No,
I'm not gonna get involved in the argument.
The only argument Peter needs.
actually, I like 5 is my favorite.
Yeah.
But
I liked the
Revenge
prequels.
of the Sith
I mean,
is my 3rd favorite.
yeah, I didn't think they were as good as the originals, but I did like the prequels.
Oh, Attack of the
Yes,
Clones.
the Mary
though,
Sue Awakens. Come on,
Attack of
gotta
the
get it.
Clones is the worst Star Wars movie, with Last Jedi close second.
I thought Last Jedi. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, Last Jedi's bad. I was thinking of the Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is good. Last Jedi. In fact, Last Jedi is so bad it got my brother, the diehard Star Wars fan, to hate Star Wars.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi is okay. I thought it was kind of boring, to be honest.
That one's my favorite, though.
Nothing happens
Sith
until
and
the end of the
Return of the
movie.
Jedi are my favorites.
The reason I don't like it is because nothing happens until the last 30 minutes of the movie.
say-
Okay, GNU Ninja says 3 words: Jar Jar Binks. But what did more damage to Star Wars universe, Jar Jar Binks or Jar Jar Abrams? What do you guys think?
Jar Jar Abrams.
I'm
No,
just
no.
It's pretty hard to beat Jar Jar Binks.
I was about to say, I think Binks did way worse damage because Episode 8 was not Abrams' fault. It was that was
A different director.
Yeah, that was that was definitely
So
different.
I
director.
gotta go. I think Binks did a way worse job than Abrams. That being said, Abrams made mistakes for sure, but Binks is way worse.
Okay. sorry.
I think Attack of the Clones is just terrible. All it is talking, and then that weird battle at the end with all the Jedis and droids.
So I actually had an interesting thing about Episode 2. For the longest time, because I originally saw it when I was a kid, for the longest time I thought it was fine, but then I rewatched it as an adult, and there's like romantic scenes between Anakin and Padme. I was like, did Lucas not have anybody look at these lines and say, boss, maybe we should change the way this is done?
Exactly.
So like those romance scenes are so bad. I mean, I think
I don't
the back
like
at the end
Sand.
is fine, but
I really hate Sand.
no, I will agree with Anakin on that, dude. Sand is terrible. I live on the beach and I hate sand. Anakin's got it right.
Oh, I know that
Only
line
way to
is
defend him, I
cringy,
know,
though.
but it's so sand is terrible.
But Phantom Menace was actually pretty cool because of Darth Maul.
Well, I
Yep.
mean,
That's the only thing that's good about
Go ahead.
Phantom Menace.
Sorry.
Darth Maul's awesome.
To be
But-
honest, I've banished the first 3 movies from my memory.
But Revenge of the Sith is pretty awesome because everyone dies, so including like Jar Jar Binks. Wait, did he die? I think he died.
Jedi,
No, Jar Jar lived.
Jar Jar,
No! No,
Yes.
3's the worst movie.
Yep.
3's the worst Star Wars movie.
Three's the worst
Yeah.
movie because Jar Jar didn't die.
Yeah, because it was right there at the end. I'm pretty sure that was the case.
Seriously though, it's pretty good, except they almost ruined it when Darth Vader went, no!
They did almost
Like,
ruin it.
why didn't the Star Wars, like, sound engineers be like, I don't think this is a good idea?
I think, though, if you dig into what the purpose of that scene was, it was really foreshadowing how he became so evil, though. There was deep significance in that line.
There's a lot. I don't know if y'all have seen the video. It's called "Everything Great About Revenge of the Sith," and that has a lot of really interesting points that it makes out. Like the scene where, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen this decade-old.
It's a 13-year-old movie.
I was about to say,
Spoilers not looked up.
as Vader is like being born, you can hear a heartbeat in the background that lines up with Padme's heartbeat fading while his grows, and it's like, ooh, like that's such a powerful like little thing that they did. Like they have these really good moments in 3.
Yeah,
but I think
3
some
I thought was
things that kind of blow it up a little bit.
3 was the best prequel by far. It's
Absolutely.
not even competition.
Yeah, you're right. There's no competition for the prequels. Revenge of the by far the best.
Revenge of the Sith is my 3rd favorite Star Wars movie.
Sky Bear says Rogue One was interesting. I agree.
I liked Rogue One.
Yeah, I liked that one as well.
Yeah, I did think Rogue One was interesting. I think that did do some credit to the modern ones.
The best scene in most of Star Wars history. One of the best scenes in Star Wars history is that Rogue One, where everyone's running from Darth Vader, and Darth Vader goes ballistic and kills everyone.
That's what we've always wanted, though, for so long. All of us, like Star Wars fans, who used to read all the old Legends books. Now, well, that's what we've wanted since we were
that's what Rogue One did, and that's why it's one of my favorites. If you got Star Wars Rebels sucked.
Rebels was
like
basically interesting lore moments, but otherwise was bad.
Each season has 3 good episodes, just because the lore is good, but that's it.
I think we're losing the chat room. They're talking about Terminator TV shows, and Total Recall, and Blade Runner, and the last Ghostbusters. Oh, poor Peter.
Oh, the last Ghostbusters.
I hear you.
I feel bad for the people who paid to see that movie.
Yeah, I did not see the last Blade Runner, or actually, I didn't see the last of any of those. I don't even think I saw the original Total Recall.
They should actually pay people to watch the Ghostbusters, not vice versa.
Oh, but come on! If you don't like the Ghostbusters, you're just. I mean, of course we have these arguments. I mean,
it's that one where they remade Ghostbusters 1, but the entire cast is women, and that's Ghostbusters remake that everyone hates.
Okay, GNU Ninja says episode 324. Jar Jar Binks is encased in carbonate, dropped into a black hole, and zapped by multiple Death Stars. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see like a Star Wars short of how Jar Jar Binks died. The heck? Like
his shuttle crashes on the way home. There you go.
Yeah, they should do like a short for Disney Plus.
The death of Jar Jar Binks. I bet that'd be the best-selling modern Star Wars.
I know.
The Empire did nothing wrong. That's great.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself either. All right. Yeah. Oh dear. Let's see.
The guy who wrote Star Wars: Last Jedi is probably Jeff Epstein's prison guard.
Empire did nothing wrong.
I actually got a Darth Vader T-shirt for Christmas that looks like a Jack Daniel's bottle. Like it's the writing on it's the same kind of style. I'm not a Jack Daniel's guy, and I don't drink very much, but I thought it was a very cool shirt. I definitely think that in context of what the Jedi were like at the end of the prequels, I feel like you can make a fair argument that the Empire was actually a good thing for the galaxy.
Yeah, we could say some other things, but I don't want to get banned.
I mean, I feel like the issue of the Empire is that if it was like, I don't know, if it was like the United States or something, just that took over a bunch of territory, but then they had like an actual government, it would have been fine. But then they were kidnapping Force users. They were like putting on a bunch of crazy taxes and invading planets and killing everyone. That's what made the Empire bad. But if you think about it, the rebels blowing up the Death Star, that's technically considered a terrorist attack.
I'll say, you gotta think about all the janitors on the Death Star, okay? Not all of the plumbers were bad guys here, all right?
But
Oh, £1 a day can prevent Jar Jar abuse. Please consider donating to the anti-Jar Jar abuse charity. BSG is getting a reboot. What is BSG?
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
It's not a
okay.
reboot, actually. It's
Right,
it's like
dude's
it's supposed to
favorite.
be based on the 2000s. Like it's a continuation.
Dwight Schrute's favorite movie.
Hey, Tom, I found something for you to put in the news tomorrow night.
Yeah, what do you got?
Amazon wants to patent technology that could identify shoppers by their hands.
It's already in my news.
Got there first, buddy.
Actually, I got there before you did. I think I have about 25 articles. I got to parrot it down to like the best 6 or 7.
I sent you a couple earlier as well, Tom.
Yeah, I see yours. Let's see. What do you got? Pentagon DNA
had,
test stance. Okay, I think this might be the same article that was it. Keegan also sent me another one.
And there's another one about the military banning TikTok on their personnel phones.
I did not see that one yet. That's new to me. Wow, I missed that one. Yeah, that one's new to me.
But the Navy was on Navy or any government equipment, not personal. I don't think they can control your personal. Maybe they won't allow
That's
you
right.
to use your phone if you're deployed.
I have a Sillyville article for you.
Oh boy, what do you got?
You can now back a robot cat on Kickstarter.
I did see that. I'm not sure if I was going to create a silly one or not, but yeah. Hey, we already have a robotic dog. We need a robotic cat for us cat people. I mean, really?
Elephant Robotics say that it will cost $1,300, and
Still cheaper than
and probably have a $99.99 a month subscription service fee to keep it alive with digital food, right?
comparatively, Sony's robot dog costs $2,900.
Said Pine, but I meant Librem 5.
I feel that
That's what I meant.
I feel that it's cheap. I feel that it's cheaper than a Librem 5 is going to be a meme somewhere.
Yeah, it is on Twitter, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, there's like a hashtag. Someone told me about the hashtag of things you could buy instead of a Librem 5.
All right, this is on Twitter, you say? All right,
Or it might actually be a Galaxy Fold, but it's one of those two. I can't remember which one. The Galaxy Fold is almost the same price as it's cheaper than the Librem 5 USA, and with that you get the latest tech and foldable phones, whereas the Librem 5 USA is just a Librem 5 made in the US.
So you can get the most entry level MacBook Pro is cheaper than the US Librem 5.
Let's see.
Librem 5 costs more than my house payment.
Wait, all of a sudden I got a bunch of followers on Twitter today. That's interesting.
Right, let's see if I can find.
I got the perfect. I tweeted that in the new Star Wars, Spider-Man gives birth to Jar Jar Binks. And after I tweeted that, I got like 4 followers.
You would be the person who would mix Skittles, M&Ms, and mini Reese's Pieces all in one bowl and just leave it out for people, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't do that, but I do just Skittles and M&Ms, no Reese's Pieces. Those are disgusting.
My gosh, you're an agent of chaos.
KOS.
Oh God, KOS, get out of here.
Yeah.
I could put the generic. I could mix M&Ms and then like Walmart generic brand or something.
I cannot find any fun Librem 5 hashtags on.
Or I could make at Linux Fest. I could have a bowl with a bunch of USBs with like Farron OS or something on them, but one of them has Windows 10.
Very funny.
I wonder what Farron OS has to say about that.
I don't know. That's something you'll have to ask him.
I could take a real pizza and put sunglasses on it, and then give it to a homeless shelter.
So we wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. I could.
All right, I'm not having any luck on DuckDuckGo. Let me try going back to start page.
Hey, you know what's funny? I'm still a little bit sick because I have the cough still.
You got the cough. It's the
That
whooping
means-
cough.
Thank God there's an internet line between us.
Oh, Tails OS is celebrating their 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
It's the whipping cough. Oh shoot! I knocked something over.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah, another thing I got for Christmas, I got this figure of Stanley Hudson from The Office. It's got a crossword puzzle and everything.
Yeah.
What was that line from Zoolander? I've got the black lung, Pop.
I got the scurvy.
What?
GNU Ninja says, wait until Apple starts selling a US-made iPhone. The Librem 5 will look cheap. Yes, GNU Ninja, but at least the iPhone will be usable.
Yeah, at least you can make a phone call on an iPhone.
Right?
But didn't I hear
Yeah,
that
they
it can
did.
make calls
They did
now?
make. Yeah, it can make calls.
Yeah. We're joking. But yeah.
Actually, so the Linux Gamer said that his carrier isn't supported, which means he can't make a call. But he said that Hackers Game called him on it. But like, how does that even work when how could he not be able to send calls through his carrier, but he could receive them?
I thought you were talking about text.
Oh yeah, it might be that. But still,
Yeah.
how does your carrier not support text? But then, which means it can't send text, but then it can receive text.
It's gotta be like an incoming outgoing like protocol, like how similar email has like IMAP, TP.
I can't wait for my phone to get RCS, so that I can actually send memes to my friends without crashing their phones.
Are there any privacy issues with this new RCS thing?
It's unencrypted, but that's it.
Yeah, but
A major privacy issue.
Yeah,
That's it.
but that's it. Yeah.
I mean,
The
that's
privacy issue.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. You know.
It's only unencrypted. It's no big deal.
Plain text everything, y'all.
Yeah. So there was an error in how the carriers were implementing it that made it really, really bad to do. So it's like, don't use it right away. That's actually why if you check the one news article where I talked about it, I actually edited that news clip out, because after looking into this after the news, I'm like, no, nobody should implement this yet. That's why I took that clip out of the news.
It's cool because I'm switching to Facebook Messenger because they're pivoting to private.
Yeah.
It
Signal.
sucks
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Signal these days. Like, Signal's driving me crazy. They keep on updating, and they're not giving you any update logs to indicate what's changing. And it's like, it's like you have to upgrade. You have to upgrade. Keep using it. What do I get? Pop-ups. Now you can communicate with badges. I'm sorry. I want to communicate with words.
That is why, Tom, I use Telegram.
Yeah, I can't.
So
The reason I use Signal is because my dad, his wife uses his phone number for Telegram, which means he can't use Telegram, so we use Signal instead.
yeah. I mean, there's Wire, Signal, and Telegram are the three ones. So it's like, it's fine as long as you're on Wi-Fi. Like, if you leave Wi-Fi, Signal will drain your battery like there's no tomorrow. Like, I mean, my phone. What's that?
Is that what's draining my battery?
It could be if you're not on Wi-Fi. Well, now this is
whenever I
also
call
depending
Nostalgia,
on what's your phone OS. What's your phone OS?
I'm running Android Pie, and I have an issue where whenever I go on cell data, my battery drains badly.
It could be. I thought it was an issue only when you do not have Google Apps installed, But never know because they keep on pushing updates and there's no update logs. They do not have update logs, and that is absolutely infuriating to me. And so, yeah, so my phone, if I'm sitting here in my office and not leaving, my phone will get easily 2 days, sometimes 2.5 days charge on a single charge, right? If I leave Wi-Fi, so when I was traveling, this last week I was traveling, I could get 12 hours on my phone, not even using the phone. And you look at the battery consumption, Signal, 20% of battery consumption. It's like, what are you doing, Signal?
You know, it's funny. My dad keeps getting annoyed with the Signal issues, and he keeps asking me why we can't use iMessage. And I'm like, I have an Android phone.
Yeah.
My dad has asked me why we can't use iMessage at least 20 times.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think Wire could be one to try as well, but I don't know.
Oh, I just looked at my battery percentage. Adaptive battery kills Signal after it's been killing Signal after I connect the cell data because it's been using battery.
Yeah.
So I think that might be because
That's
I always notice when I first connect the cell data for the first 10 minutes my battery drains and then it stops.
Yep.
So that makes perfect sense. So Android Pie adaptive battery is making it stop.
Yeah, my guess is then that Signal's causing a battery drain even when, that used to only be a reported issue when you were not using Google services. So on my phone where I don't have any Google Play services installed.
That also might be why I don't get Signal notifications on cell data because adaptive battery is killing it because it's using so much battery.
Yep. So you might have to go and manually check it. Yeah, that's why, like, it's not annoying me enough yet to drop it, but it's right on that edge. If they keep on pushing update after update without giving me logs, and they keep on adding crappy garbage features like, we add badges! I'm not 5, okay? I want to text people with words. I don't need cute little badges. I don't even want the stupid badges there, and there's no way to turn the crap off.
What do you think of Brack Stop Me?
What's that?
That's
Brack Stop
Rob,
Me?
Brack Stop Me. It's Rob Braxman's messaging service.
I have no idea. Never heard of it.
He says that it's more secure than Signal, and it's open source now. All right, I gotta go. I have to get ready for guitar.
All
See
right,
ya.
man. Have fun. Become Jimi Hendrix.
See you, pizza.
See ya.
Bye, pizza.
Amazon.
Bye.
AWS. Used by CIA. Was used by John Brennan and Susan Rice. Was not audited independently and used to move NSA audited control data to political operatives. Yeah, Amazon, another Spygate crook. Yeah. Upgrade from Linux Mint 2 to 3. Anyone have problems with upgrading? Not usually on Linux Mint. I've not tried it personally yet. If you want, maybe I'll plug in my other computer and push that upgrade, and I'll see if I have any problems with it. Okay. Wait until Apple starts selling a US phone. Oh boy, I'm a few minutes behind on comments, looks like. Okay.
Still love you.
Yeah, everyone's quiet all of a sudden.
So, Peter was, I think I was trying to make an attempt at a dry humor joke by correcting GNU Injo instead of made, I've said assembled, and I don't know if Peter missed it. That was just attempt at dry humor.
Yeah, I thought the phone was designed to make calls. You'd think, but I don't know.
So
made in the USA from the cheapest Chinese components money can buy.
That's where my assembled joke came in, because I remember when Apple released the Mac Pro in 2013, they were like, it's assembled in the U.S. factory in Texas. But I was like, but all the parts are still coming from China. So.
Yeah, I did try and upgrade my Mac. Apparently, I would have to create an Apple ID to upgrade to up to Catalina or whatever. Actually, I don't want to go that high. I want to go to High Sierra. But it says it downloaded the update, but it goes to install it, won't install it. So my thing is still on Yosemite, but at least I have a functioning browser that can work in Bootstrap 4 now. So
yeah, it's Yeah, that all of the DMGs come from the App Store now, so you got to go that route.
Yeah, which I don't really care. I mean, I have an Apple ID I could throw onto it. I don't see it be a cause a problem, but I don't want it to accidentally upgrade to Catalina and break half the stuff I have functioning on the thing. But if
Right.
I can say I'm going to go up to High Sierra and stop there, I might do that.
I don't think you can do that if you haven't already downloaded it at some point on your Apple account. Like if you
What
haven't
I
downloaded
could
it on Mac,
what I
I
could
don't.
do is I could sign in with an Apple ID, go directly to High Sierra, download that, allow that to upgrade, then disconnect the Apple ID before checking for updates again. I could probably do that.
Well,
What?
let's say with the OS upgrades, it works a bit differently. Ricky is what you got going on, Bo? Really close to the screen.
Well, it says this right here, and this just caught my attention. CCPA, everything you need to know about California's new privacy law.
Yeah, that comes into effect. Does it January 1st or is it like January 5th? I forget.
I have no idea. This is my first time seeing this.
Yeah.
I mean, what? I mean, I don't even know what this privacy law is. I mean, what in the world are they doing? Yeah, the most sweeping data privacy law in the country kicks off January 1st. The law gives residents of the Golden State the right to learn what data companies collect about them. It also lets California ask companies to delete their data and not to sell it. Really?
I hope y'all can't hear my dog whining in the background over here.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
The full impact of these rights.
Simple Tech. I do not seem to have your email address in here, so send me an email.
Oh, this is interesting. This privacy law. No company is exempt at all. This includes Google and Facebook. So Californians have a right to tell Facebook and Google to delete their data.
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
Bring it.
And so a lot of companies are just adopting that unilaterally so they don't have to have two separate things. So like Patreon is, for example, they're doing it. So yeah, it's a decent privacy law, honestly.
It's pretty decent. I just wish every state had it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll have to look at how I can upgrade just to that one OS on Mac, because I do not want to go to Catalina. Catalina's going to cause problems.
Yeah, it's the trick is that every time, unless your device stops at say High Sierra, unless it's already in your download history, like your purchase history, and you can go back and purchase it again, there's no way to get it properly from the App Store, shall we say.
So what I could do then is sign in with the Apple ID, purchase it from the store,
Right.
let it do its download, disconnect the Apple ID, and then run the update.
But your device has to stop at High Sierra. See, if it's not, so if you
I
skip
don't
any
know.
OS versions, I'm pretty sure. If you skip any I'm pretty sure, unless they've changed it, they may have changed it, but the way it used to be is that if you skip any OS versions, like if you went from 10.11 to 10.13, you couldn't go back and get 10.12. See what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm on Yosemite right now. If I go into connect an Apple ID, go into the store, download, just download High Sierra. Don't download Catalina, just download High Sierra as a quote purchase. Now that it's downloaded, disconnect the Apple account.
I hear what you're saying.
And then run the update. I
what
bet
I'm
that
saying
would
is
do
that
it.
I don't think you can go and find High Sierra unless it's
Yes,
already
you can.
purchased.
You can.
Oh, you can.
Be-
Well, in that
yes,
case, yeah,
because
run.
when I was looking into it, I was like, well, how do I do this? So I clicked over. I landed on the store. The only reason I didn't get it is because I had to sign in with an Apple ID, which I've never given Apple an Apple ID because I do not want Apple to know. Like, I don't want Apple to have a connection to my iPad which doesn't have much on it, but I don't want that mess. I don't want to be in the Apple's ecosystem. And frankly, I'm not sure I care because the browser now works with modern systems, so I'm probably okay with that.
How old again is your Mac?
It is a 2014 Mac Mini. Late January 2014, I think. Which does support Catalina.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a 2012 Mac over there, but I have a Ubuntu Mate on it.
I've got my MacBook here that I bought. It's a 2017, and I can't. So because this model was never released with High Sierra, if I do a search for High Sierra from my MacBook, it will not. It can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's what it is. Their hardware has to have had supported at some point, I guess.
Yeah. So if your system hasn't supported it, then that's the case.
But if I go to my Mac Mini, which I did have High Sierra on, I bet you I could find it.
Yeah.
Interesting setup.
Yeah. So I'll have to look into it. See what it does.
Hey, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Right, you're going back over here.
Ethan has never owned a Mac. That's probably okay. I mean, I have one for development reasons, I don't rarely ever use it, but hey, I do have it in case I need it. I hate the iOS 12. I think it's a nightmare.
Anna Rita, for your question where he says, why can't Apple just add an update button and sign in and update and done? If you're not trying to be complicated about it like we are, that's exactly what happens for most people.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you can do is without signing in, there is an update button. You just can't roll the OS without the login.
Right.
Most people are just and they already have a login, so nobody actually notices this. I'm just not. I'm not following Apple. I'm sorry. I do not want to be made into a wool sweater when they fleece me.
Other than my Mac, the only other Apple device I have is an old iPod Touch Gen 4 that has iOS 6 on it.
This is the last pretty version of iOS when everything still had like the.
It still works really good. It's wonderful.
I so miss. I have a Mac Mini G4 that's got Tiger on it still, 10.4 on it. I just love the way Tiger looks. And then I think it was iOS 7 where they went to this flat theme design where everything kind of came these like really contrasting pastel kind of colors. Yeah.
That was pretty much like the best version of Mac OS you could ever get was Mac OS 10 because for so many years that's what Apple was using was Mac OS 10, and then 2007 they announced, we're getting rid of Mac OS 10 and we're introducing something else, and I think that's where it went downhill from there.
That it is still the marketing name is no longer Mac OS 10, but it is still Mac OS 10, and that only changed a few years ago. Mac OS 10, and that was 2007 when Leopard was released, which was 10.5. I'm pretty sure is what it was.
All right. Simple Tech, I'm looking for your email. Apparently you didn't send it to the one I was thinking, so I have to pull up my business email. I think you have my business email.
It's a Linux channel. Here we are talking about Apple. Sorry, guys.
Well, I was actually watching some of Steve's old keynotes, and I will say one thing. I mean, I don't mind Tim Cook too much, but I think, I'll be honest, I think Apple was much better when Steve was around.
I disagree. I worked for Apple after Steve Jobs had passed, and I read I didn't read all of it, but I read the biography that it was written, and Jobs was really kind of nuts. I'm kind of glad I didn't work there when he was in charge. I'm glad to have had Tim Cook as the CEO at the time. I don't know how I feel about Tim Cook nowadays, but at the time he was a pretty solid guy.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, for the older Mac products like basically the Power Mac G3 and G4, is it even possible to get Linux on those?
There are a couple PowerPC Linux distros out there, yes. I actually looked at doing that with my old G4 Mac Mini some months ago, but I never really got around to doing anything with it. So, but they do exist. But PowerPC is like not used in anything except like switches and routers these days. It seems like so.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a large community if that matters to you.
Yeah. The one thing that actually interests me is how many Mac products Apple had back in the day. I mean, they had the Power Mac G3. They had the old Power Macintosh from '97. They had the iBook, which was the predecessor to the MacBook. I mean, the one thing I did like about Steve's plan is they wanted two areas: consumer products and pro products, and I think he accomplished that pretty well.
Yeah, I still wish it was that simple, but I see a lot of areas they get so blurred, and I mean the reality is it was like in 2013, I think it was the iPhone 5S had more processing power than like the Power Mac G5s did. So it's like I don't know where like you. The only thing limiting it is the software and the fact you can only get around physics so much with the wattage of CPU control.
Yeah. Now, I know that Mac is still based on Unix, but for iOS, is iOS based on Unix as well, or is it its own?
Yep.
Okay.
It's still got because the original versions of iOS, back when it was just called iPhone OS, were modified versions of macOS 10.3.
Oh.
So that is the deep down like core code is still, to my knowledge, based on that, and I don't see that changing, just because they've got it so heavily customized for their silicon now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Evolution kicked itself off of my Cairo dock, and every time I try to add it back on, it doesn't add the actual mail application. It adds an Evolution alarm notify. I have no earthly idea what in the world it is.
I've never heard of an alarm.
I know, on Evolution, and I cannot get Cairo dock to reconfigure it. I think Cairo dock seemed to have broken on a more recent version or something. Even my weather application isn't working. So,
for a good solid several months, I ran Cairo dock, and the last version I tried it was working great. I ran Evolution 2, it was fine, but this is the first time I'm ever hearing about this little problem.
Yeah, because I was like, for the longest time, I'm like, something is missing from my Cairo dock, but I don't know what it is. Well, it's Evolution, but because I don't launch it every day. You know, I only launch Evolution if I need it because this isn't the usual computer I check work email on. But for some reason, if I try and add Evolution back to the Cairo dock, the only thing it adds is Evolution alarm notify, which I have no idea what it is.
I was about to say, it's actually funny you said it, 'cause I'm running Pop OS on this box right here. And I've never set up Evolution email. I don't even think I have it installed, but I've got Evolution address book factory, alarm notify, calendar factory, and source registry. I don't think I even have it on here though. Is it on here? Evolution. No, I can install it, but it's not already installed. So I'm kind of curious why these are on here.
Now,
what else Evolution's alert services? Sorry, go ahead.
Now, about Evolution, has Evolution always been exclusive to Linux, or has it ever been considered to be ported to other operating systems?
You know, I don't know.
I think it briefly tried to do a Linux port, and it didn't work out. Because I think I looked at wanting to use Evolution on Windows a while back, but I think it went down in flames because Windows is terrible.
My favorite mail client's Thunderbird.
Yeah, I just use Thunderbird for some things. Simple Tech, I did send you that email a while ago, so see if you're,
Yeah, but anyway, it's been nice talking to you all, but I gotta get going.
All right, man.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye. It does look like I don't I have no idea how legit this is, but there's something called this sounds sketchy as heck. There's a website called bestwinsoft.com that you can download Evolution for Windows from.
I completely am about to download that for my systems.
That's not sketchy at all.
Load It Soft also has it as well. It looks...
Can you find an official build on the Evolution website?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I think years ago they shut it down. So I think these are probably old versions that were just re-uploaded as exes, I'm guessing. Oh my god, Portable Apps has an Evolution Mail for Windows client. Oh no, this is a forum post here. I thought it was an actual download. My bad. Hang on. They're talking about retro gaming in chat. I'm going through the Mega Man series right now, and let me tell you, Mega Man 3, I contemplated suicide. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was so hard. Mega Man 3, so unforgiving.
That's actually because you're young.
Oh.
I was having this discussion with somebody the other day because I play Black Ops with my friend who's 19, right? And it's like he's so much better at Black Ops than me. He's like, asked me the other day. He says, do you think it's just people, my age are just naturally better at video games? I said, no, it's just the type of video games.
No, the older games are hard.
Because I can play the older video games way better than he can. He can play the newer video games way better than I can. And that's kind of the way it is,
Yeah, well, I mean, I was a kid when the Mega Man games were out. Like, I had the NES when I was but a wee chap, and then I got the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
but,
see, when I was a wee chap, Super Nintendo didn't exist. So,
yeah. But yeah, Mega Man 4 is a lot easier than Mega Man 3 is, I'll tell you that. But always loved Mega Man. I just never got the chance to play through all the games until Steam had the Legacy Collection. So, which has been a lot of fun to go back through. The original Legend of Zelda, it's like, back in the day, I don't know how y'all beat games, because Simple Text trying to get in here, but all I hear is clicking.
Yeah. So okay, so Legend of Zelda, right? This is how good I am at Legend of Zelda. I skip the wooden sword. I skip the white sword. The first sword I get is the magic sword.
Well, all right. So here's the thing about it. I was like, I went and played through the game like proper, looking at nothing, and I could not figure out how to get into the last dungeon. I had to look it up. So I was like, how did anybody back in the day figure out you had to drop a bomb on that one square and blow it up?
And here's the fun thing. We all beat it, and the internet didn't exist.
I know. That's what blows my mind. How many hours did y'all waste doing that?
Not a lot, honestly, because you actually, when you bought the game, they gave you a map. The map gave you tips about how it didn't necessarily tell you exactly where it is, but it gave you enough information that you could figure it out. So like on that last dungeon, you had to put that bomb in that one location. But if you actually looked at the map, you say there's got to be something there. I either get to it here or here or here. And so it caused us to explore all of those until somehow we found that they're, the place to put the bomb.
Right. Yeah. See, buying the game, I think it was on my Nintendo 3DS. I don't think it was ever been on Steam, but there's no like instruction booklet or anything, and nothing gives you hints like that. So it's like after you beat the last dungeon before Ganon, it's like there's nothing in the game that's like you should go to the northwest and look around, you idiot. It's like there's no hints at all.
Okay. So I got the application back working right. Now I just got to find an icon for it. That's not a clock.
No. We have 50.
Are you there yet, Mark? Did Vince step out for a little bit?
I think he's muted on his mic and camera.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What was that?
Oh, no, it's fine. We just asked if you were booted out.
I'm back.
I'm looking for an icon, so I'm kind of like.
Peter, I believe correct as well.
Mark,
I can
there?
do simple.
I think I accidentally triggered Ethan. Whoops.
Oh, what happened?
No, I made a joke. What's Minecraft?
Oh no, Minecraft. I've never played Minecraft either. It's any consolation. Some I think.
No, I completely I do not understand it at all.
It's one of those. It's one of those so open world games you can do anything, but if you're not very left brained and super creative, which is me,
That's right.
it's like it's too open world.
I need objectives.
Right. When everything is unique, nothing is unique. That's my that's my argument against Minecraft and like No Man's Sky and stuff like that. So simple tech.
What icon should I use for evolution?
A half
That one.
mayonnaise.
That one there. There we go. Wait, hold on. That's that one. All right.
See you, Farron.
Bye,
Take care, mate.
Farron.
Apply.
Aaron Clark is 100% correct. Mega Man is one of those controller throwing games, but you keep coming back. That is so 100% true. Which actually, I have the 8-bit Do controller for computers. It's like the old Super Nintendo controller.
All right. I have evolution back on the system now. It still says evolution alarm notify, but hey, the icon's right. Woohoo! We're back. Oh boy.
I've never played Mega Man. I've got to give it a go.
It's if it's still on sale on Steam, it's only $10 for the first 6 games.
My favorite is Mega Man 2. That is my absolute favorite of the Mega Man.
2 is a lot of fun. Since I'm only just now going through them for the first time in my life, I did the original Mega Man and I did a Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. And I loved X a lot, so I can't wait till I get back to that point. But I'm actually going to play through Mega Man 1 through 11, and then I'm going to do Mega Man X.
Yeah.
There are 11 games?
Yep.
12?
So there's more than 11. There's just 11 in the Mega Man series, and there's Mega Man X, and it's got like 9 games, and then there's like ZX and all this other weird stuff after that. But like the side-scroller shooter, I think there's like 20.
And what are you up to at the moment?
Not 4 is where I'm at right now. I'm in the final castle though, in 4 at least.
Yeah, I can actually speedrun Mega Man 2 in about 30 minutes. I think the people can probably do it faster, but
I think I was looking for. I was Mega Man 3. I was trying to figure out how to beat one of the final bosses. Yeah, I cheated. I'm just trying to get the experience. Okay, so, but there's a guy who did a speed run. It was 26 minutes, and like 26 minutes, 11.31 seconds, and I think he beat the world speedrun record by like 0.05 seconds.
wow.
It was like so close.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you guys are,
Go ahead, Vince.
I was going to say, if you guys are into retro gaming streams, Alan Pope and Martin Rimpress doing a whole stack of these streams where they're pitting the Commodore 64 against the ZX Spectrum. It's called 8-Bit Versus. It's really cool fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be easier to say than type. I was going to tell Aaron Clark in the chat room there. He was said that he was saying to Peter that the noobs pay for unfinished games, and he's correct. I remember years ago when they were talking about how all the consoles were going to be network linked, that they would be able to deliver new content for free to players and all that jazz. And I'm sitting there shaking my head going, no, that's only going to give them an excuse to release buggy, unfinished games that need to be patched later. And that has happened so many times.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
I am not even a fan of modern gaming because of that, you know.
Yeah, I thought all games are coming out basically requiring a day zero patch.
It's very unfortunate.
So what is the best overall distro to you guys in your experience to game on Linux overall? Would you say an Arch? Would you say a Debian? Would you say a...
I haven't experimented gaming on that many. I'd like the Linux Mint, but I've only really used Mint, Ubuntu Mate, and I'm using Pop! OS right now.
Okay.
But out of those 3, Linux Mint was certainly the easiest for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've never actually really gamed on Linux either, but the only game I actually managed to get to install was Diablo 2, and that was on Linux Mint. But that's the only game I've been playing lately. I haven't tried anything else.
So I know Blizzard killed Battle.net with on Linux. So I was told there's a Flatpak version of Wine Tricks or something that will allow me to run it, which I have it written down on one of my sticky notes here. But I think what I want to do is buy a hard drive and run a specific OS just for gaming on Linux and see how effective that would be.
Have you checked Lutris?
Like I did. It doesn't work.
Let's say.
No, I did Lutris. I did multiple versions of Wine. What happens is there's a DLL missing. I was thinking what I might just do is just grab the whole DLL folder from the Windows computer and port it over. That might fix it, honestly.
Is that for Warcraft?
Yeah. So in the latest edition, the latest updates, now they're doing the full auto updates all the time, but you have to launch Battle.net to run Warcraft 3 now. And so every time you launch it, it needs to check for updates, and Battle.net will not work on Linux at this point. Every time you try and install it.
Real Warcraft 3.
Yeah, that's the thing. I won't touch any of the other ones. But I do have a note here. Somebody actually says there's a specific Flatpak that will allow it to run. WinePack is a Flatpak that will allow Battle.net to run. So I'm going to try that. See if it works.
I was gonna say, as far as I don't know what kind of games you play, if you play much at all. Are you against using Steam?
No, in fact, my brother plays the Worm WMD is out now, which does seem to work on Linux, and so I'm gonna pick that up, and that way maybe I can play a couple games with my brother, or maybe throw a Discord or something on there. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna say if you're not against it, I'll throw it in the YouTube chat. But Proton DB is a really good place to go. It kind of gives you an idea of who's using Proton to emulate the Windows games on Linux, and that will probably be a good way to get started if there's stuff that's Windows specific in Steam you want to try out.
Mm-hmm.
What up, all?
Yeah. Hey, Mark, how's it
going?
Dang, you can hear me all of a sudden.
Hey, Simple Tech.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay? It should sound all right.
Yeah, it sounds good.
No major feedback. I know it's got a little crackling in it. But yeah, anyway.
You're good. Nah, when you first connected, it was like popping a whole lot, but you're set now, man.
Yeah, I think I need to. When you're getting, this is a lesson, kind of, sort of. I got a great deal on B&H Photo for the Behringer XM8500. To start out with, you can't beat it. It's like they sell the kit for like $30-some. I literally just got the microphone because I had everything else.
Crap.
Basically, when you're getting an XLR cable for your Phantom Power, or if you've got like a interface, when you're getting that, make sure that you don't cheap out on the XLR cable. You do get what you pay for. I do realize it's analog, and a cable is a cable is a cable. To an extent, this is a Pearstone. I'd never heard of this brand before. It does good, but there's definitely some crackling and stuff, and I'm not sure if that's because it shouldn't interfere. There shouldn't be any interference because it's a different type of connection. It's a condenser microphone which uses XLR cables. So the sound should be a little bit better, but like you might have some feedback if you go with the cheaper XLR cable. And make sure you get a quality cable.
So why can I not find Warcraft on Proton DB?
Probably because Warcraft's not on Steam.
Oh, just
yeah. So Proton is it's like a Wine. So it's like a miniature version, a specialized version of Wine that Steam, that Valve is helping develop so that Steam games can be better, explicitly on Windows, can be played on Linux.
All right, that sounds good. Cool. I'll have to look into that.
I think for anything that's not Linux based, I think Vincent said Lutris is probably a better way to go. I don't know if anybody else has got any suggestions. I'm not super big on it. Like I said, I have a Windows box exclusively for playing games on.
I'm so dumb. I had that thing turned sideways, talking into it like an idiot. sitting here fiddling with a cable at the bottom. I'm like,
When you play Worms, you can play Hedgehog Wars. Okay, no, Aaron, the thing is that my brother and some of his friends play Worms. So if there is a native game to Linux that I can play and play with my brother, that's why I want to do that.
So loud?
So that's why I want to do that. Yeah, if it was just a matter of playing a game like that, yes, that would be the best way to go. But it's that specific version, and if it wasn't that specific native version, I wouldn't even mess with it. But it is. So I'll go down to Walmart tomorrow and buy a Steam gift card so I can buy a game while it's on sale. It'll be my first Steam game, man.
Exciting. Glad I was here for it.
I don't play video games. I'm too busy working with other stuff. But hey, in the last almost exactly 24 hours, I managed to get my entire mailing list set up for the new channel, and then actually build a Joomla module, a custom Joomla module to put that anywhere on my site, because the way to actually get the thing working, it kept on trying to rewrite all my scripting code, and it was driving me crazy. So it's like, Joomla, stop it. I'm going to make a module out of you. So I did. So I have I do now have, if anybody out there is listening to this, needs a module for PHP lists, let me know. I'll get you the module, because I don't care if I give it away to anybody. I did make it so it's not specific to install. You tell it what your PHP list is, what your list variable is, and I have enough to have, I think, four different custom attributes and 3 different mailing lists, and I have the option to automatically subscribe to them or to give you the option to subscribe to the individual lists. So it's a kind of neat module. That's what I did this afternoon. So, you know. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not the kind of IT stuff I do. So it's like you're talking way above my head.
I was just thinking, I have no idea what just went on the last 30 seconds.
I know vaguely.
Simple Tech, are you with me? Can you follow me, Simple Tech? See, guys, I do actually have a real profession that I do real stuff on, and it's complicated.
I was a little bit distracted, but yeah, PHP as far as. Yeah, when you're trying to talk to somebody about it because you have nobody else to talk to, which is why I want to talk to you sometimes when I can't, and I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Yeah.
People can't understand what the heck you're talking about. It sounds Greek to them, and you just want to scream and go in a forest and hang yourself.
Yeah. Well, there are 54 people listening, so there are 54 people listening, and so if, like I said, if anybody does need a Joomla module to integrate with PHP lists, let me know. So, hey, it's
Tommy,
an open.
What's up? Peter Jensen says Battle.net works with Lutris, and he's a gamer, so
I've tried it. I tried it several times. I downloaded Lutris specifically on the system. I attempted to install Battle.net directly through it. Will not work. So I don't know. Let me know how to get it to work. I'd be very interested in that.
Kyrie knows what you're talking about.
Now here's a question though too. That's Linux Mint 18.3. Would it help if I move up to 19 to get that to work?
I think as a tech professional, here's the thing. You're on 18.3. Think about it. When was that released? The good thing about being on the latest version means you're getting all the latest patches.
Yeah.
They're going to pay the most attention to the latest version.
But I'm not going to upgrade that particular computer just to get a game to work, which I haven't played for 2 years. If I can get it to work,
I understand that.
Yeah, if I can get it to work, that'd be cool. I'll try a Flatpak. I did try Lutris and it did not work for me.
Is that a mission critical machine?
That is essentially yes, because that is the laptop that I take when I travel. So that's my work laptop.
Okay, yeah, don't even touch it. Yeah, if you can, I still might upgrade, but other than that, I wouldn't try to do too much on it.
Yeah,
and you might want to make sure you have a backup.
18.3 is supported. 18.3 is supported. So as long as it's supported, I'm keeping that. It has all the patches up to date.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so long as they're still releasing updates, there's no sense in trying to. It should be working.
Yeah, but I did try Lutris on there, and I could not get that to work either. The only other thing I could try is I don't know if I actually have wine tricks installed on that particular computer. I could do wine tricks and poke around with different wine versions. And like I said, I think the best chance I have of moving it over because it's missing a DLL is simply to take the functioning install on my Windows computer and just grab the DLL files. That's my guess.
What about investing in crossover? Is it worth a shot? Maybe with a 30-day trial money back or something?
What's crossover again?
Okay, crossover is like a paid version of kind of wine, except that they're being motivated. It's open source. It's fully open source. They're being motivated because they're getting the money. It's a legitimate business type product. It's
not worth it.
So it's basically you're paying for their support as a service.
Yes, they're supporting you have.
Same thing Red Hat does.
Yeah. But I mean, I would think it would be a little bit better quality than wine, honestly, because yes, they are ultimately dependent on the wine development, but this is just the capitalist in me.
Yeah.
When they're getting money for the software, you're generally going to get a better cut of stuff. Not always.
Yeah.
The
biggest challenge with BattleNet is they're not telling me what's missing. They're not giving me an error log to track down the error. It's like a DLL is missing. Well, that's a little specific. There's about 500 DLLs. If you would tell me which DLL is missing, I could probably go find it.
Okay, that might just be pointing to just that it can't properly execute or use the DLLs, period.
Correct.
It may just be any DLL.
Or a critical DLL from the Windows system is missing that wine tricks could install. So that might be the best approach is let me just uninstall everything from it and start. I could start with Lutris or I could start with Play on Linux and see if that actually fixes it. Because being is that version of BattleNet has been out now for almost a year, I'm guessing that somebody has worked it out and has a Play on Linux install for it. That's my guess. And I just haven't looked. So
I'd take a stab at it. It's not something I do every day, no, but it is essentially, it kind of is because it's an application, right? So it's in Linux, but I would take a stab at it, but for you. I don't even think I charge anything. I just kind of use it as a guinea pig. See how I do. Because it's not something I do every day, but it would be worth looking into while everything's kind of slow. I could help you with it or whatever if you needed it. It's up to you.
It's so low priority right now that, like right now, I'm focused on getting the new site launched, which I'm down to just one or two more things and start doing videos. Yay! So, yeah. In fact, could I do... let me see if I can find that thing here.
Now, BattleNet is belonging to what? What game are you trying to play again?
Warcraft 3.
Oh, okay, yeah. World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Is that classic World of Warcraft or?
No, it's Warcraft. No. It's not World of Warcraft. It's Warcraft.
It's real Warcraft.
Yes,
actual real Warcraft.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So the last Warcraft I played was Warcraft 3. It was so much fun. I was also back in my StarCraft days.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to sign into the newsletter for when I launch the new channel, which is the writing channel, teaching how to do writing stuff, I dropped the link for that for the newsletter sign up in there. I think everything is working in that. So I haven't fully tested everything yet, but so if you join on too quick, you might receive test emails while I'm still testing the systems. But anyway, that is all set up and branded for my for the new channel, which I have two separate areas: book updates and project updates. But that's gonna have information about when I launch that new channel. So in there. Last one plays Warcraft 2. Oh, I remember Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 is the first game I played on the internet. It wasn't really the internet. It was the first game I played with somebody in a computer when they weren't in the same room. We had to dial our 33.6 modems into each other, actually.
Yeah. I remember doing that with Unreal Tournament.
Mm.
I think I did that with Command and Conquer. Red Alert.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the glory days.
Yeah. Back when you'd buy a video game that was actually ready to play.
Mostly.
we
I
had
don't know if you ever played Superman 64. That was not ready to play. There was no way to fix it.
How about E.T.?
Oh. That was before I was born.
Oh man, we had so many awesome LAN parties when I was supposed to be studying. It was so good.
I know, just because it was simple, my friends and I, when the original Xbox with Halo, there was a thing back then called GameSpy Arcade, and you could basically emulate a LAN setup and do an over-the-internet connection, and you could play against people. This was before Xbox Live and all that, so that was
There was something else similar that I think I used to use called Hamachi. Does anyone remember that? It was like you created a LAN over the internet as well.
Mm-hmm. So GameSpy Arcade's the only one I knew of. Didn't Log Me In buy Hamachi like years
Yes,
ago?
that's right, and killed it.
Yeah.
I think we're running out of steam here.
As I say, it's 2 hours.
I was walking around trying to get my wallet, and I'm sitting there. What are you doing in this room again? What is the purpose? We're walking in here for something. I know it has to be retrieving. Oh, now I remember. I have to get my wallet and pay Tom.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm doing Patreon, so yeah. I'm not overdoing it. I'm just.
Yeah, just just make sure you're taking care of your four walls first, though.
I certainly am. I got all my bills paid. Everything's current. Got a little bit left over.
All right, there you go. That's the way to go.
I've been paying my bills, brah. It's just not a lot left over when you get done.
Yeah. Hopefully that's getting a little bit better though within the tax breaks that we're getting under this current administration is actually actually helping us a lot.
It is. I think that's the one thing he's done because I paid close to 40% last time.
Yeah.
So I know
down a little bit, especially for us independent business people who have to pay a 15.3% tax rate. Lord help us.
NC. Dude, where are you at? I want to come where you are.
No. That's just the self-employment tax. We also have state tax and local tax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think I'm paying, on top of federal, I'm paying 20% in addition to federal taxes.
So what, like 35% basically? That's about what I paid.
That's about right.
Pointless.
I'm 34.
Right. Yeah.
34.
It was pointless to even pay taxes at that point, and I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, but we'll give you great government services. I don't want your government services. I would just like my money.
I do work for the government. That's not a thing.
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you right now, we're robbing you blind.
Oh yes, we know.
Man, this guy.
Well, it's by design, guys. If they didn't take our money, then they wouldn't be able to run the government because they couldn't keep their head above water. They're broke as a joke, and it ain't even funny. It's not. They run off of our hard work. That's how they. I was telling Mom this the other day. She said, "I worked all my life, and this is what I got." I was like, "Mother, that is by design. They do this. They know exactly what they're doing. If they don't rob from us and the rich, they can't operate. So they'll rob you blind every which way they can. They have to.
Services.
Well, this is the way I feel about it, and this is the honest to God truth. I'm as a classical liberal, I am very controversial because like all this shit that goes on, like with YouTube. I'm sorry, I can't say that. All this crap that goes on with YouTube and everything, and people get so upset about How about your roads? You want your roads, blah, blah, blah. I think the government should have very little hand in things, and I think there should be minimal to no governmental regulation. As a classical liberal, it's our responsibility as U.S. citizens to take care of our land and to do things like that and to pay for things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've really had some major concerns with like things like the minimum wage.
Yeah.
I think we should abolish the minimum wage. We need to get back to a point where it's about the individual and the weight of society lies within the individual, so everyone holds a responsibility to their environment and to society. I think that the government should only be there to provide the bare essentials, and I think churches need to step up and handle the majority of, like, what do you call that? Governmental assistance, like Medicaid. Well, maybe not Medicaid, but
like
food,
the
charity.
basic,
food
making sure
stamps
people
and
are
stuff,
feeding
yeah.
are fed. Yeah, and I would agree with most of that. You know,
That's the church's responsibility. I just feel like, and we have it. It's gotten so bad. We're so dependent. And I know this is kind of scatterbrained because I am right now. We're so dependent on other people and other services like Amazon and everything to do everything for us. And people are so upset about these YouTube changes. YouTube is going to operate how YouTube wants to operate. As long as we're in their sandbox, at the end of the day, you have to bite the bullet and play by their rules, or you go build your own domain. Well, the problem there lies is some of these domain companies don't want you to host certain types of content. So be it. Go to the next domain provider. Okay, there's not one. Okay, how bad do you want it? Do your own. Literally build your own server and make it happen.
yeah, and then though you have to rely on your ISP not banning you.
Well, the ISP should not have the control they have.
Correct.
The internet should be free and open, and parents should be parents. I could go on for days.
Yeah, and a lot of that's true, but it just gets to the point where sometimes we're just not there. There's no eeasy solutions one way or the other, you know. GNU Ninja here says claim everything. No, I want to focus on this one here. GNU Ninja says claim everything as a business expense. Within the limit that you can, that's the best way to go, because when you own a business, and I've been completely self-employed for 10 years. When you own a business, you purchase things and then you pay taxes. When you are an employee, you pay taxes and then you purchase things. Anywhere in owning a business that you can overlap that you want to. So like I bought this microphone, which was $200, like $150, I think. You know, this is a business expense. Now, what that means is that it still costs me $200, or I'll say $200 for the sake of it. It was like $150. Still costs me the money. But what happens is I deduct that money off of the income that I made that I'm paying taxes on. So if I indeed get to the point where, 100% of my income goes out to buying things, keeping my business running, then yes, I wouldn't have a tax liability for that year. But there is a problem that not everything can be deducted. So you take every deduction that you can. You just don't want to, you want to figure out how to make everything work as an expense where you can, because that's what the law is there to help you to do. So while at the one token, I do have an extra huge self-employment tax, I also can get around some of that with several of the things that I might buy will allow me to not pay taxes on the purchase of that product. And so it's a balancing act to figure it out, So, fine.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that. This is the reason I don't do that, and I never will. Not until I get big enough. Because I'm scared shitless the IRS is going to ruin me, and I'm going to be left with no way to feed myself.
Well, that's why, okay, you should be doing business expenses yourself, though. Even as a sole proprietor or as an LLC, however you want to do it, you should be doing the business expenses because you're working from your house. Because you're working from your house, right? You can deduct, if you're paying utilities, you can deduct the percentage size of your office out of the cost of your utilities. You can deduct the
Yeah.
percentage of your office out of your house payment or rent. You can deduct out if you're on an internet, like if you have an internet-based business and internet is a critical function, you can deduct 100% of your internet bill as a deduction. Your phone, sometimes 100%, sometimes 50%, depending on where that all lies. So that's kind of how it works. You know what I mean? So do not leave that money on the table. Otherwise, you're paying more taxes than you should be. But this is why you want to hire a tax professional. Because if you hire a tax professional and you get an audit, he's the one that gets to clean up the mess. And the cost that the tax professional is going to be will definitely pay for itself in the extra income that you receive. So you always want to hire a CPA, and you don't want to do something like H&R Block or, whoever those guys are, the big chain stores. They're okay if you're a wage payroll employee. They're not good enough at doing business stuff. You want to hire a real CPA and pay them a couple $100, and they will do a good job for you for your taxes. So if you're not doing that at a minimum, you're leaving money on the table, and that's going to hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, and I have no choice but not to right now until I can. And maybe one day in the future I'll be able to do that. But like I say, it takes everything I make about it to pay bills, and there's not a whole lot left over.
Yeah.
So I've really worked on my overhead. I'm doing the tutorial. I'm trying to put myself in the best position possible to succeed, so that God forbid if something happens or I need to pay somebody for something, I have it on reserve and I have it saved in building interest. And I'm just trying to be responsible and be responsive and try to do the best I can to position myself so that I'm not homeless in the streets.
Yeah.
Because that could very well be the case. And I've talked to my mom about it. I go to bed at night, I worry about it, it stresses me out. But in the last year or so, I've really put it in God's hands as a Christian. And it's really hard when you're self-employed. And this is all I've ever wanted to do is work for myself because I love it. I love what I do.
Yeah. Your first step, though, because it's coming in at the end of a year, your first step, go talk to a CPA. He is going to save you a lot because, and I'm not sure, maybe I'm mishearing you, but you keep saying I can't afford to do it yet. No, you can't afford not to do it yet because you are possibly leaving $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000. You're giving that to the IRS when by the law of our country, you don't have to. That's what I'm saying. See, and Tech wants me to. Tech wants all that money.
Hey man, somebody's gonna fund this venture over here.
Well, the thing is that I don't have any problem paying legitimate taxes, but I want to hire a CPA. I want to hire a CPA who will find me all of the potential legal deductions that I can, because that's what the tax code is there for, to give us the laws that we have to help us in that. And I'd rather that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 extra dollars go to me, because when I have that extra money in my pocket, it means that I can reinvest back in my business. Like I need to get a better soundboard than this little pile thing here that I can't show you, because if I do, I'm going to pull my mic out. I need to get a better soundboard, but I can't justify it, even though it's a tax deduction. I can't justify it when I'm too close to the line, and that's the thing. So. Yeah,
I'm still trying to get used to having a microphone. I had this thing laid on the table the whole time while I was talking.
Hey, that sounds way better, man.
You sound a lot better now, dude.
Whoa! See? $20 business expense.
Yeah, maybe you should have got the stand.
Idiot. I'm an idiot. I have the boom arm. And I can't find my little screwy thing to tighten it up on the base.
Yeah.
So I've got to get one off of eBay. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask Vincent, you're our resident Australian, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. How's the tax law work there?
I think it's just as complicated as yours by the sounds of things. I'm self-employed as well, so I end up.
Only one who's not self-employed here.
Yeah. So I think I ended up paying about a third of my income in tax last year, just in summary. There are talks of simplifying the tax code, and I think that's great. But I think that most of the time you should still get an accountant most people will do better with an accountant, especially if you are self-employed here as well.
I agree, but some of us, unfortunately, where is that going to come from? All I can do is go in Dan Locke mode, as bad as I hate to say that, because Dan Locke's I wouldn't exactly trust him completely. He does have some good stuff. He says you've got to make high income, you've got to create high income making skills, and like the cost of being poor, right? There's a video on that. But anyway, it's so much higher cost. It's hard to do when. Go ahead. Yeah.
It does surprise me how much. It does surprise me how much you guys pay in tax. I've never worked in the States, but my impression was that you guys were a lower taxed rate country than we were.
That's the trick. If you're looking at federal taxes, I think that's true, but then you have to include on there all state income tax if you have one, and then some places have like a town or city or region, a municipality tax,
and you have sales taxes.
Sales tax, yep. So overall, we're taxed really high. That's why there's tons of people that have said over the years, if you're a U.S. citizen and you make X amount of money, go live someplace in Southeast Asia, and you're going to live like a king.
Yeah, exactly. There's a certain point where it becomes a disincentive to actually work more.
Okay, so here is the income tax brackets for 2019. So 10% or 10%. Let's see. So 10% is starting at 0 bracket. So then you get to the 12% bracket. So unmarried individuals, $9,700. Then if you're at the 22% tax bracket if you make up to 39. But the way it works is your first 10,000 is billed at a certain amount, and then it's the range, the differential between the first 10,000 minus the high end of the bracket. You're taxed the original 10% on the first punch, and then you're charged 12% on the remainder difference there. So it becomes this excessively complicated thing, and that's just federal. And
that's
then,
progressive tax for you.
Yes. And then in Pennsylvania, we have, I think it's 3.5. Let's see. Okay, so and I have an extra on top of this tax bracket because I'm self-employed. I have an extra 15.3%. So if I'm at this 22%, it's 22% plus 15.3%. And then I have a 3.07% for my state taxes. I have a 1.45% for my local taxes. And of course, we have a 6% sales tax on anything that's not a food or necessity.
So if South Carolina has something simple, I doubt it.
Well, that adds up quick.
Yes.
Tom, you don't even have to edit that much what I said. Maybe just a little bit where you see necessary when you're editing any videos.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Honest to God, I say this stuff. I am public. This might help somebody. Maybe somebody else is out there that needs to hear this and they're struggling. And honest to God, just if you're a Christian, give it to God, because it is really difficult. Yeah. And don't give up. Keep chasing your dreams and keep working hard. It's just getting hard out there. So maybe somebody needs to hear that. So it is what it is. It's out there, Yeah.
If we're giving life advice for what you should do for employment, I would say follow your talents and skills, not your dreams.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. And you can also,
if you can figure out how to fit your dreams in the middle of that, that's the best. Yeah. Because if you're working with your talents and abilities, you might end up with a job that you hate. You might have talents and abilities that you hate. But if you're working in something that you dream of doing, you don't have to work a day in your life. You just love what you're doing. If you can converge those three together, you will have the best, happiest life that there is.
That's what because I love IT and I love enterprise level IT. That's exactly what I've just fallen into it. So it's been really good for me.
Can we stop for a second? Because Derek's got an urgent question.
Yeah. Urgent question advice. Should I give my cat food daily or special occasions? Wet cat food. So I'm guessing like canned cat food. My cats have never tasted it. in a can. But the reality is dry cat food is not as good for your cats. So if price isn't the option and you got the regular schedule, canned cat food is definitely better for your cat. I use dry cat food because I'm lazy and it's cheap.
Lasagna.
Yes, give him lasagna. He'll love it. Garfield.
He's a pretty kitty.
For me, I'm in the 7% taxable income for South Carolina, and then I've got a 4% fair market value for my primary residence tax.
Tom,
But if
what do you
have,
think?
go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Nope, you go. I don't want to think about that anymore.
Terrible.
Nope, go.
My timing is terrible. I'm sorry. I try. Basically, what do you think about services such as Bench or whatever? Like, check out bench.com, or get back to us. You can check it out anytime. But there are services that offer like bookkeeping to where supposedly you could save some money. It's subscription based, which I know you kind of hate that.
Yeah.
But you can do a year up front, and you could probably cut your costs like that a little bit. Something I would be interested in.
So bench.com or bench? This looks like
I'm getting benchmark secure technology.
Let me see if I can't find
I
it
don't
real
think that's
quick.
quite right.
Bench.com. They used to be. They're pretty high, but there's other ones I'm sure.
Bench.co.
Bench.co.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, there it is.
That's
hey, that
it.
looks better. Look at what you might be asked for. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's it.
let me look at their pricing here. Let me also switch over so everyone watching can see what we're looking at here. All right, so average monthly income expenses. Let's just say if you had just there, so that'd be 100. Ouch, that's like almost over 10%. Their price is too high.
Agree.
Oh, well, like if you're much higher, it gets better. Like they should definitely, if you're only making up to $1,000, this should be only half of what it is. So if you're under this threshold, do not use it. If you're in that second threshold, it starts becoming worth it. So
it is predatory.
Yeah. So, okay. If you are a person that's grabbing the receipts, if you remember to get them and throw them in a shoebox, yes, you want to hire a service like this because it's going to pay for itself. Me, I am so stinking highly organized that this is a waste. In fact, I don't even want to hire somebody because the bookkeeping is what allows me to keep a pulse on my business. So I would not hire it personally because I like filling in the numbers, seeing where we are, knowing daily where I'm at. I don't want to have to call somebody and say, hey, what are we looking at, or things like this. If you're not as organized as I am, something like this might be worth it. So it kind of depends on what your individual use is. Definitely if you're in the lower bracket where you're only making $1,000 a month or whatever, it is not worth it. You get into the 1 to 10,000 a month, it starts becoming worth it to have somebody else over there doing stuff. Obviously, if you're 50K to $1 million, you're going to be hiring somebody either way. So, yeah, I mean, if it gets to the point where it becomes a 40-hour work week just to get your books done, you want to hire somebody. The question is, do you hire somebody directly or do you online? I would probably look for somebody local before I'd hire somebody online. That's my take, but that's kind of what I'm thinking of. Anybody else have any comments to that?
Yeah, I found it to be predatory at the lowest level. I think if you're more built up and more established, it's a great option. I agree. I think there are alternatives to this that can offer better pricing, and then maybe that starts to become a potential for me. I was just specifically asking for you to check it out and see if there were any alternatives that anyone knew. So anybody else?
Like if we're talking bookkeeping stuff, like right now, my primary business I still use QuickBooks because I've used it over there for a long time and it works well. And I like QuickBooks. I use GNU Cash for my other business, which it's not as user-friendly as QuickBooks, but it definitely does the job. And I'm looking at it like I have an entire year or so doing this. In fact, I've been running QuickBooks I've been running GNU Cache for 2 years on that. Honestly, I don't see necessarily reason to change. There are some online solutions as well, like open source solutions that if I wanted to, I could spin them up on a local web server and spit out everything, which are probably going to be better than GNU Cache, possibly even better than QuickBooks if I want to spin up a local web server to run them, because I would not want to run them. There's no reason to run them on a public internet. Local internet,
Right.
sure. Public internet, no.
I think with bookkeeping, it's definitely something you should try to learn to do yourself if you can, because that's somewhere where you can actually save. You can actually learn to do that. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
But I think what you were talking about before, getting a CPA, is actually then getting any other deductions that you might not actually be aware of. Otherwise, that's a different thing, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because your CPA is generally not your bookkeeper. Your bookkeeper is generally considered a lower level financial person. Your bookkeeper, if you have a simple business, you might have a bookkeeper that does your quarterlies, and then you'd still pass stuff over to a CPA to do the final audit at the end of the year. So yeah, definitely with your bookkeeping type stuff. I would always recommend, especially if you're starting to do your own bookkeeping, until you're drawing in $5,000 a month revenue or more, you shouldn't even consider hiring somebody else to do your bookkeeping for you. And then definitely, though, you always hire a CPA, even if you're only making $1,000. In fact, that's the time that the CPA pays for himself the best, because he's going to be able to spot things that you didn't even know were deductions.
Exactly, I agree. It's just it's going to be a little bit to get there to be able to do that. It is what it is.
Anyway, guys, I've got to run.
Yeah, I think I
I'm
need to run.
starving.
Yeah, I
I need to go get me some ice cream.
Something.
Ice cream.
Ooh, are you going to share?
Sure, why not?
mail it over.
Yeah.
Need some
Dippin'
here.
Dots.
It's 28C here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool here, but I make ice cream, so
Anyway.
There you go. That's what
Ciao,
I'm talking
guys.
about.
All right, we'll see you, Vince.
Take care, Vincent.
All right,
Bye.
we'll see you,
I
Simple
see-
Tech. We'll see you, Tech Haberdash.
See you, everybody.
Have yourself a good one.
See you, everybody.
Yep.
Bye.
Have
See
a
ya.
good one, y'all.
And thanks for watching, everybody, on the stream. We will catch the rest of you guys online for the news tomorrow. Peace out, yo.